It's not possible. I didn't say it would be easy, Neo.
Good morning. We are the Committee on Parole. We are reconvening on Tuesday, May 21st, 2024 at 10:25 a.m. We are at Lafayette Parish Correctional Center. I'll introduce the panel. My name is Cheryl Renatza, serving as chairman of today's panel. To my left is Mr. Danny Barra, and to my right is Mr. Revocation. And we have before us, Darian, is that you? Is there anybody any staff member in the room with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, there you are. We'd like the staff, please, to introduce yourself for the record.
My name is Catherine LeBlanc. I'm the administrative assistant for the reissue program.
Thank you. Thanks for helping us out today. We appreciate it. So, Darian, would you please introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Darian Toldale. My DOC number is 715412.
Okay, and let me acknowledge the folks who are joining us in support of Mr. Bodil, Shonda Savoy and Dylan Luke, both who want to speak on your behalf, and we'll allow that at the appropriate time. First, Mr. Bodil, I will read some information into the record. I'm sorry, we're here for a revocation decision. I'm going to read the allegations against you, after which you'll enter a plea of guilty or not guilty, and then we'll have a conversation about it. First, I want to ask you, do you have a parole revocation questionnaire there with you?
No, ma'am.
We'll put it up on the screen for you. This is a form you filled out. You recognize that form?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your signature at the bottom of that page dated March 26th of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Based on the information contained in that questionnaire, you're not eligible for appointed counsel this morning. So are you ready to proceed with the revocation hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
As I said, I'm going to read the allegation and then you'll enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. So you are accused of violating the conditions of your parole, specifically condition number 4, and it states, on or about August 27, 2023, you engaged in the criminal activity of domestic abuse battery with child endangerment. However, these charges were dismissed on March 7, 2024. How do you plead to violating condition number 4?
Not guilty.
All right, your case has been assigned to Mr. Barra. Would you answer his questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you please tell me, like, your version of the story that happened that day? What went wrong?
Like I told the parole officer at the preliminary hearing, it was me and my fiance had a misunderstanding about over my dog. My dog ate some food that she gave to her son. And that's what started the disagreement.
A lot more than that happened. What happened there?
I mean, we had an argument. You know.
Only words?
Sir?
Only words, or some fist flew, or what happened?
No, we did not fight. No, we didn't fight. It was no, sir.
What's the explanation for the blood that the police report talks about?
I mean, like I said at the preliminary hearing, I didn't even notice any injury from anything. The only blood that happened, like the police that arrested me, he stated himself while he was taking me to the car that he cut himself putting the cuffs on him, and I had blood in my hand. I mean, I said I don't remember seeing any injury. I noticing any injury from neither one of us.
How long you been on supervision?
Well, when I got out of jail, I was on parole. I was out for almost 3 years. It was like 2 years and a few months.
And how would you explain your relationship with your probation officer or your parole officer?
Well, I originally when I got out of jail, I had originally did a interstate compact and I went to Texas. But when I came back to Louisiana, I had only seen him like twice. So we was, you know, we was all right. We was all right with each other.
Is there anything you want to tell me before we make a decision on that case of, you know, why you think you should be continued on parole and not revoked?
Well, I feel like I should be able to get reinstated for the simple fact that when I made it home from my last incarceration, you know, I had changed my life a lot. I didn't get in any trouble, you know, before this incident happened when I was arrested. Um, I was working, you know, I'm active in both of my kids' life and in my stepkids' lives. And you know, it's a lot of good things that I started doing since I've been home, you know what I'm saying, that kept my mind on doing the right thing, you know. I was in the community training the kids with boxing so they can stay out of trouble. Um, I was out feeding, you know, feeding the people downtown and by the bus station that you know, were less fortunate, you know, didn't really have a way to do nothing for themselves. And like I said, you know, I've been staying out of trouble. I've been trying my best to stay out of trouble. And I feel like, you know, if I'm reinstated, I continue to do that. Plus, you know, I help my fiance a lot with the kids and, you know, it's been a hardship on my family since I've been in here, you know, with bills. Um, she's she has a sickness that she needs my help with, you know. She's been diagnosed with lupus and other things that you know, I don't want to really put her too much of her information out that I help out a lot with, you know. So that's about it.
That's all the questions I have.
All right, thank
All
you. Let's hear from your Miss Savoy. Miss Savoy, what would you like us to know?
I would like to say on Darian's behalf that since I've known him in my life, he has been a major, you know, a good person to me. The day that that incident happened, the way that they, you know, that it was said it wasn't like that. I was off of my medication for like maybe 4 days trying to get my scripts, and I was having a very, very hard time. And I just kind of reacted off of something that wasn't really a big deal, you know, and unfortunately it led him there, and he honestly didn't do anything. With that being said, you know, prior to that, he has been extraordinary in my life. I need help daily. Like, I need to have someone around me daily. It helps me. He's been that provider for me and my kids. He's been there for me and my kids. He's been there for me. Other than that altercation, that verbal altercation that we had no prior problems. Like, nothing before that. He's always been good to me, my kids, to the community. I've seen all the time. I'm sorry, since we've been together, the time that I've known him and the time that, you know, this took place, he's a great person. I feel like he deserves a second chance. I feel like it wasn't what it was made out to be. You know, I apologize for my actions that caused this for him. So that's it.
Thank you. We appreciate you speaking with us this morning. And we also have Dylan Luke. Dylan, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Would you pronounce it for us?
Dylan Luke.
Dylan, okay. What would you like us to know?
With me being his brother, I got to see the before and after with my brother. He was a regular person, you know what I'm saying, had his flaws and whatnot, but the change that my brother had, it was tremendous. You know, him being the oldest, out of 8. So he had all of the mess ups, and he knew all of the ins and outs of getting into trouble and staying out of trouble, you know, teaching us. But when he was paroled to Texas, man, when I say it was a completely different person than what was usually painted for everyone. Talking about being invited to different events in the community as far as like stopping the violence, you know, speaking against violence, and we were doing food drives and giving back to everyone. I mean, I don't know if I'm able to send pictures, but I still have all of the footage, the pictures and whatnot. And certified mechanic, and which he didn't know nothing about cars at all, but everything he did was a change to help everyone else. And like I said, my sister-in-law, she called me when the incident took place. To me, it was more of the neighbors hearing something and they immediately just called authorities. They don't know what took place, you know what I'm saying? And my brother, I know for a fact that he wouldn't put his hands on her, especially since I'm really big on being against it, and I will crack down on him. Being his younger brother, I still crack down on him. But now he's really a good person. And he's, like you said, he had a lot of stuff going on, especially with his children and his stepkids, you know, and I'll go out there, I'll see him, and he's very, very family oriented because he's helping out with his mom. He's helping out with his fiance. I'm gonna give her the proper title. He's helping out with his children, all his children. I'm not gonna say stepchildren, but all of his children. He's been missed a lot, you know, as far as the love and the help that he's giving everyone around him.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing all that with us. We appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Darian, you've been in jail since August.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything you'd like to say to us before we vote? Anything else?
Not much. I just pray that y'all, you know, have mercy and see that this was nothing more than a big misunderstanding, you know. And I would like to get back to my family life and to taking some burden off of my fiance and my mother. You know, my mother's been taking care of my daughter since we got her out of foster care. And you know, she doesn't really know her biological mom. You know, she's been on drugs. That's why she went to foster care. But Shonda has been her mother figure, you know, and her and my mom been taking care of my daughter since I've been here. And I really just would like to get back to taking care of my business as a man and as a father and as a future husband.
All right. There you are, Mr. Byron.
I got one more question for Ms. Sava.
Yeah.
Can you bring her back? Ms. Sava, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, sir.
If we are to release him, you're going to have him to come back and live with you?
Yes, sir.
And you have absolutely no concerns for your safety or anything like that regarding him?
No, sir. I've also taken extra precautionaries on my behalf so that none of this can further, you know, while he's been incarcerated, I've been doing things on my behalf with my doctors and my medication and, you know, other things to help me, you know, not allow any of this to happen again. So I yes, sir. I feel safe. I don't feel threatened, harmed, or anything by him. I've never did.
Right. And I'm correct in assuming that from your testimony that you take the majority of the blame for the problem that he has today because you weren't on your medication, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what caused the escalation to happen where he ends up in jail.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm ready to vote.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I vote to reinstate your probation today. I will parole me. And I want to add the condition that within 90 days of your release, you enroll in an anger management class. Even though you might not think you need it, you still have to be prepared for those type of situations.
Yeah, I understand.
Either walk out of them, deal with them better, You know, we're hoping that what she did is going to take care of her end of the problem, but we want you to be well prepared to not end up back in this situation again, because if you come back here again, it don't matter what you say, I'm going to revoke you the next round.
I understand.
Thank you, Mr. Tillett.
Mr. Daron, I take my hat off to you. You're doing something that most men should all do. My vote is to grant,
I appreciate it.
to not revoke. I'm sorry, to not revoke.
Mr. Podell, I do agree with my colleagues. My vote today is the same, with the same special conditions explained to you, Mr. Byright. Understand that? Good luck to you, sir. Go home.
Thank you.
All right. That concludes our business in Lafayette. Ms. LeBlanc, thanks so much for accommodating us. We're going to sign off at 10:40 a.m.